Good evening, ma'am. Myself, Meghna. I am from CSC B section. My roll number is 234G1A0593. And today, my topic is multinomial theorem. In multinomial theorem, one problem. Now we can see, find out the coefficient of a square b cube c square d power 5 in the expansion of a plus 2b minus 3c plus 2d plus 5 whole power 16 using multinomial theorem. Before going to this problem solution, we know about what is multinomial theorem and we can do one example. Multinomial theorem. The multinomial theorem is a generalization of binomial theorem which gives a way to expand expressions of the form x1 plus x2 plus and so on xm whole power n, where x1 plus x2 and so on xm are terms in a summarized to positive integer power n. These n we can found out all the sum of these x1 plus x2 plus xm. Then we can found out that n. Multinomial expansion formula. The formula for this multinomial expansion is x1 plus x2 plus and so on xm whole power n equals to summation k1 plus k2 plus and so on km equals to n, where n factorial by k1 factorial, k2 factorial and so on km factorial, x1 power k1, x2 power k2 and so on xn power k power m, where the sum is taken over all combinations of non-negative integers k1 comma k2 and so on km, such that k1 plus k2 plus and so on km equals to n. The term n factorial by k1 factorial, k2 factorial and so on km factorial is the multinomial coefficient representing the number of distinct ways to arranging n items divided into m groups of sizes k1 comma k2 and so on km. Example of this multinomial theorem is expanding x plus y plus z whole cube using the multinomial theorem yields x plus y plus z whole cube equals to summation k1 plus k2 plus k3 equals to 3. Here in the place of n we are observing that 3. Here in by formula n factorial by k1 k2 k3 factorial. In the place of n we put 3 factorial. 3 factorial by k1 factorial, k2 factorial, k3 factorial, x power k1, y power k2, z power k3. Expanding each term and simplifying with this, we can get the final solution x cube plus y cube plus z cube plus 3x square y plus 3x square z plus 3y square x plus 3y square z plus 3z square x plus 3z square y plus 6x. Here our question is determine the coefficient of a square b cube c square d power 5 in the expansion of a plus 2b minus 3c plus 2d plus 5 power 16 using multinomial theorem. By multinomial theorem, we have one formula. The formula is x1 plus x2 plus and so on xk whole power n equals to n factorial by n1 factorial, n2 factorial, n3 factorial and so on nk factorial into x1 n1, x2 n2 and so on xk n power k, where n1 plus n2 and so on nk equals to n. N is the sum of all these. By using the above multinomial theorem, we can write as, before going to that, we can write that the given a plus 2b minus 3c plus 2d plus 5 whole power 16 is given expansion. Coefficient of a square b cube c square d power 5 is the above expansion. A plus 2b minus 3c plus 2d plus 5 whole power 16 is equals to, by using that formula, multinomial formula, in the place of n we can observe that 16. The formula is n factorial by n1 factorial, n2 factorial, n3 factorial, n4 factorial, n5 factorial. In the place of n we can substitute that 16. And again a power n1, 2b whole power n2 minus 3c whole power n3, 2d n4, 5 n5 and so on. 16 factorial, n1 factorial, 16 factorial by n1 factorial, n2 factorial, n3 factorial, n4 factorial, n5 factorial, an. We can write it as in order wise a n1, 2 n2, b n2 minus 3 whole power n3, c n3, 2 n power 4, dn power 4. 16 factorial by n1 factorial, n2 factorial, n3 factorial, n4 factorial, n5 factorial, an1, 2n2, b power n2, minus 3n3, c power n3, 2 power n4, d 5 power n5. We have to find the a square, b cube, c square, d5 coefficient of the expansion. A square, b cube, c square, d5 is equals to, from above 1, we can write it as 2 power n2 minus 3 whole power n, an1, bn2, cn3, 2 power n4. n1 equals to 2, n3 equals to 2, n2 equals to 3, n4 equals to 5. These values we can written by using that coefficients. Since we know that sum of n is n equals to n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4 plus n5. Here n equals to 16. We know that n1 equals to 2, n2 equals to 2, n3 equals to 3, n4 equals to 5, n5. Now we have to define 16 equals to, we have to add all these 12 plus n5. N5 equals to 16 minus 12, n5 equals to 4. Then from equation 1, a plus 2b minus 3c plus 2d plus 5 whole power 16 equals to 16 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial into 3 factorial into 5 factorial into 4 factorial, a square 2 cube b cube minus 3 whole square c square d power 5 5 power 4 2 power 5. Then the coefficient of a square b cube c square d power 5 is 16 factorial by 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 2 factorial, 5 factorial, 4 factorial. And the coefficients 2 cube, 3 square, 2 power 5 and 5 power 4. Uh, uh, then we can get that 16 factorial by all these factorials. 2 into 3 into means 2 factorial. 2 into 2 into 5 into 4 into 3 into t, all we have to multiply these, and again 2 cube 3 square 2 power 5 5 power 4. By using scientific calculator or by using calculations, we can solve this 16 factorial by 10 into 5 power 4. By cancellation that we can get 10 into 5 power 4. The coefficient of a square b cube c square d power 5 is 4.3589 into 10 power 14. And the final solution is 4.3589 into 10 power 14. Thank you, ma'am.